What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Down South Up North. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Matt, dude, last episode was just me ranting about how shitty the Georgia Bulldogs are and how much I hate Mike Bobo. But today, dude, this episode is all yours. We'll get into that later, but how you doing, man? How was your weekend?
It was good. I had a lot of downtime to watch all these football games. Pretty average games. Most of them were kind of one-sided, like the entire time. I don't know if you felt that way, but it was just like, all right, we know who's gonna win this game, pretty much. Yeah, teams won that needed to, except for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Poor Baker Mayfield. But good, relaxing weekend. So you?
Same thing, dude. I mean, my Bulldogs, they've been out for a little over a week now, so I was watching those games stress-free. Me and you were texting back and forth there in the big game Friday night. But, hey, dude, a lot of good football was played this past weekend. Yeah, dude, so can't really complain, but let's waste no time and get straight into the athletic alert. Matthew, all I'm going to say this segment is you've been waiting for this day for a very, very long time, so the floor is yours, brother.
Yes.
Take it away.
Yes. Kyle, to be specific, the last time I felt this good about this news happening, it was my junior year of high school. I was sitting in my English class, and one of my buddies, who is a huge Washington fan, was in the same class, and the news broke. And this was 2019, I think this is when it happened, and I get the news alert on my phone. Cowboys have parted ways with Jason Garrett. And today, I may have felt a little, I don't know, it's hard. I think it's an equal amount of happiness, glory. If you guys can't see, like, I'm taking a weight literally off my chest because this has been a long time coming. I hate Mike McCarthy. I hate almost everything about him, Kyle. From his play calling, which is mediocre. When they got rid of Kellen Moore, I knew they were in trouble. Could not run the rock all year until about week 11 or 12. And he's just not. My biggest thing is he doesn't have control of that locker room, Kyle. It is like, it's just like a clown. I mean, we know it's a clown show, the whole organization. But in terms of Mike McCarthy, this team is always in the top 5, top 10 of most penalties per game or total penalties at the end of a season. So to get rid of Mike McCarthy, because I'm not going to lie, if you were to tell me this last week, I would have laughed at you because they were saying, oh, well, they're not firing him, right? The whole story about the Bears trying to hire Mike McCarthy, speak with Mike McCarthy. Cowboys denied it just for them to part ways with him. I really thought that they were going to come together, him and Jerry Jones, and agree to a contract extension. So to hear this news is great. Of course, though, this round of coaching, this coaching carousel, as everybody's calling it online, is not the best. We really do not have a ton of coaches out there. I mean, I can think of Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions. I would love for him to go to Dallas.
I was about to mention that.
I would love for him to go there. But you saw Mike Vrabel is returning home in New England. So I don't know about the options out there. Hey, Deion Sanders is also possibly available depending on what happens. But I don't know where we go from here. It might be another terrible head coach. But I think after the season that they had, which, look, for most teams, 7-10 is not a horrible year, right? I mean, it's a very mediocre year, but it's not the end of the world. For Dallas, it was a down year. From week 2 on, it was a total nightmare as a fan, and I think the entire organization just needs the turning of a page is the best way I can put it. And unfortunately, You can't get rid of an owner. You can't get rid of the owner. I think Jerry Jones has the most power in the NFL, Kyle. I don't know if you would agree with that, at least sole ownership.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't know what to expect in the future, but a lot of teams in recent years have brought in younger coaches. I hope we get a younger coach, right? Not a 56-year-old Mike McCarthy, which is what Dallas did. I just want some new blood in the locker room that can take control. Unless we get somebody like Dan Campbell. But I don't know about you. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, you mentioned it at the very beginning of your spiel. He never really had control of that locker room, dude. Literally, you're the head coach. You have to have players wanting to play for you. And it just seemed like some of those players did not want to play for him, dude. And again, yeah, he won a Super Bowl with Green Bay years and years ago. But, dude, like you said, y'all running the football has been y'all's strong suit for I don't know how long. Last year you had TP and who was your other back?
Well, I mean, they had Zeke for a while.
But y'all had a really good 1-2 punch last year.
I think that was the year before you're thinking about, when it was Zeke and Tony Pollard.
I believe so, yeah. But you had TP last year, who was a really good back. What'd you call him? Total playmaker.
Total playmaker.
He was a playmaker. You let him go to the Titans. You guys don't pursue Derrick Henry. And that's more of a Jerry Jones issue more than Mike. But Mike, dude, if you don't have those players wanting to throw on the jersey, put on, play for the star on your helmet.
Right, the star, man.
That's the whole point about being a Cowboys player. You play for the star, dude. You play for the star. And none of those players, dude, wanted to play for Mike McCarthy. And I don't blame him, because he didn't. Being a head coach, you got to do numerous of things. Number one, you got to stick up for your players. You got to go to war for them. You have to do everything that Dan Campbell's doing. You know what I mean? It's just sticking up for your players, having them not having their backs, but I'm trying to figure out another way to say this. Just doing your job, basically. Just doing the bare minimum, dude. And he did not even get close. And like you said, 7-10. Like, if you want to talk about 7-10, I'm the guy for you, because the Falcons went 7-10 3 years in a row. So, but for the Cowboys, that's a down year. You guys, for years, dude, you're a 10-win team, and you guys go 7-10. You lost games you shouldn't have lost, just from bad coaching, bad play. But I like the fact that y'all moved on. Again, Ben Johnson should be the top candidate for y'all, but another team is also looking for a head coach in the Raiders, and I'm hearing a lot about that's where Benny's going to go. But I think either y'all are getting Ben Johnson or Dion, one or the other.
Look, that's a dream come true. Right, that is a dream. If we get either of those guys, I'm ecstatic. But look, if you're Ben Johnson, first of all, you're leaving the Detroit Lions. Hell, that could all change if they win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right, like that could be a total different story. But if you're Ben Johnson and you really want a head coaching job, those two teams. I also know the Saints are looking for a head coach. The Bears are looking for a head coach, right? Like, there's a lot of openings out there.
I forgot about the Saints, dude. Yeah, they had an interim head coach.
Yeah, so, they need to figure something out. But if you're Ben Johnson, let's narrow it down just to the Cowboys and the Raiders. Well, Raiders don't have anybody throwing the ball, right? You would assume they're going to go quarterback. That's their biggest need on their chart. But still, don't really traded away Josh Jacobs. Don't really have a solid running back. They lost Devontae Adams. Like, Las Vegas is in shambles. right now.
But Dallas, you have a quarterback, somewhat.
Yeah.
You have a wide receiver. You have a good defense. You have the team. It's just the one thing you're missing is a good head coach and a good owner.
I was going to say, the biggest thing for Ben Johnson would be like, do you want to go and work for the Jerry Show? I'm calling it as it is, Kyle. It is the Jerry Show, and
Yeah,
75% of social media will agree with me when I say that. It is a total clown show there because Jerry is the GM. Jerry is the owner. Hell, the freaking stadium is nicknamed Jerry's World. And everything's about Jerry. And that he makes enough money to not even care, in my opinion. And he goes on the radio every Tuesday on The Fan in Dallas, Texas. And he knows at this point, he is 82 years old. He knows whatever he says, somebody on First Take, First Things First, any show will talk about it. We'll talk about what he says. So he's got it down to a science. I mean, we could have an argument. Does he really want to win? Because he inherited a team that was led by a great coach in Tom Landry. They had a couple down years. Won the Super Bowl. Won 3, as a matter of fact. But from then on out, it has just been constant mediocrity. And they are the laughingstock of the NFL. And it sucks as a fan because it's like, you know, I don't really know how to feel. I'm very happy we're moving on from Mike McCarthy. But the last time this happened, we got rid of Jason Garrett, who the only thing he was good at was clapping his hands on the sideline when his players walked off from going 3 and out or throwing an interception or fumbling the football. He was an emotional support therapist for the team, not a head coach. And then they go out and bring in Mike McCarthy, who had not been in the NFL for years. So, I don't know. I mean, is Rex Ryan going to come to the Dallas Cowboys? Like, somebody's been out of coaching for years, and I don't know. So, I don't know where they go from here, but it is a little bit of a deep breath because the only thing worse that could happen is if by tomorrow, or I'm sorry, no, today's Tuesday, by midnight tonight, they would have had to have a deal in place for an extension. And to get it done yesterday, a day before that deadline, to me is great. To me is great. So it's a polarizing feeling, but I'm gonna enjoy my happiness for the time being.
Yeah, man. My dad is a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I talked to him on Monday about it. We went and had lunch after work, and I was like, well, what do you think about it? He was like, man, I mean, I'm happy because, like you said, I don't know, dude. Laughing stock of the league. You win 10-plus games every year. You send Tom Brady home. 2 years ago in Tampa, you send Brady home. You gain momentum. You're like, dude, let's go. You go against the Niners in Levi's Stadium. You're hyped up. That offense was nasty that year. That defense was nasty that year. What'd you score on them that game?
Which game?
It was like 2 years ago.
Cowboys Bucks in the playoffs. I think it was 35. We hung on them.
No, divisional against the Niners.
Oh, that was like 19 to 9.
Yeah,
19. I believe it was 19. They didn't get in the end zone. I know that. And then they put Zeke at center at the end of the game. So that was cool.
Yeah, I do remember because that's where in Florida. I remember that. And then the next year, you win 12 games, 12-5. You go to the playoffs. You're hosting a game against the Green Bay Packers.
2 versus 7, Kyle. 2 versus 7.
2 versus 7. And I don't know what Matt LaFleur
that was rough.
Those guys drank before the game or what they ate, but I mean, that's on Mike McCarthy. That's not getting his players ready. Again, this is the NFL and it's not college, but
But
you got to
look,
get your players ready
right? I mean, bro,
somehow.
you would think having the two. I think they had the 2 seed, right? You're hosting a team that should not even be in contention, and then that happens, right? It's one thing if you lose by a possession or a last second field goal or an overtime, but they got whooped. I mean, the Packers went to Dallas, Texas, and they were the ones doing the ass whooping, which really hurt as a fan. I mean,
Yeah,
really. And then we go into this year, it's like, what am I going to expect? And then a really bad season. And of course, and I told you this multiple weeks. Of course, the Cowboys, the one year that like is not good. Every other team in the NFL is just trash. I mean, you look at the top 10 teams, none of them have more than like 4 or 5 wins. I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was a lot of teams this year where late in the season they only had like 4 wins, and I'm like, well, they're not going to try to win, right? I mean, Kyle, why would they want to win? Why would the Titans want to win, right? They want that draft pick. The only team that fucked up their draft stock was the New York Giants when they were like, oh, we're playing the Colts this week. Let's try to eliminate them from the AFC playoffs. Absolutely nothing to do with us. And then they go from the first overall pick, where a team that desperately needs either a Cam Moore or Shador Sanders, and they drop all the way to 4, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was a really weird year of the NFL. But it's over for the Cowboys at least. Get Mike McCarthy, clear house. Maybe Jerry Jones can step away for a year. I don't know if that's a thing. Interim owners, but it is what it is, and we're looking ahead. So
Yeah, man. Hey, the what does Harvey Dent say in The Dark Knight? The darkest nights before it's dawn, or something like that. I forgot the name or the quote, but the sun will rise, brother. That's the point I'm getting to. But
well, it's never risen in my whole life, so let's hope.
but moving on to your Ohio State Buckeyes,
Yeah, finally
dude.
some good stuff to talk about.
Good stuff, dude. I mean, you can't escape the Cowboys because the game Cotton Bowl was played in Jerry's World Friday night. Ohio State Buckeyes, dude, handled business. Took down the Texas Longhorns. That was a good game, dude. The first, literally until 14 seconds left in the first half, I was like, dude, this is just a defensive battle. You were texting me saying, dude, this defense is tough, man. It is. They are like their defensive line is good. Their linebackers are good. Their secondary is good. Like every part of that defense is good, and they just swarm to the ball. But somehow Will Howard and company found a way to sneak out
Hey,
one
Kyle,
of these bad boys right
Kyle,
here.
take these little horns right here.
Pull
Go ahead,
them on
flip
down,
them upside
man.
down, horns down.
Horns down.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, dude. I was confident, but I was nervous. I was nervous.
Oh, yeah.
But they got into the second half, and then I hear. So I switched the program. I was listening to Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler, right? The regular. Then I switched to the Pat McAfee show, and this was for the second half. I'm like, yo, big fan of Pat. He's a great dude. Love his show and everything he's doing for the industry. And it's like third quarter, and then I hear somebody bring up like, yo, somebody turned the heat up in AT&T Stadium. I'm like, they're turning the heat up on the boys from Ohio? I mean, look, it's some boys down in Texas, Kyle. That's some SEC workhorse material you got to work with there. They're like, yo, let's outsweat these boys. And let me tell you, man, Sark, I love Sark. He's got a great story. If you haven't seen him, go do some research. Go watch a couple videos. Man was a great coach under Saban. Saban the Great, and then went to Texas. He had the whole heart problem and stuff, almost died. Great story. But as an offensive-minded coach, and some may call him an offensive genius, when you are on the 1-yard line,
oh my God,
first and goal,
back-to-back pass interferences, by the way, from the Buckeyes.
right, that got you all the way down there. Why are we running a pitch? Why are you tossing it out left? That to me is inexcusable.
When I saw Buckeyes just swarm over there, and 3 of them just like, one went for the legs, the other one went for the torso, and the other one just jumped on top to make sure he didn't go anywhere. I was like, Texas isn't scoring here. There's no way. If I'm head coach, if I'm Sark there, I'm just taking my headset, QB sneak 3 times, and then I'm taking off the
Or
headset.
Kyle, bro, you have a secret X factor on your sideline.
Yeah, you have Art.
And his 2 uncles were Hall of Famers.
And what did Art do earlier in the game?
Got a first down on a 4th and 1. Yeah, so I believe me, I have as a fan, I'm like, yo, thank you, that's good. But I like from a football standpoint, I'm like, that's a terrible call, man. Inexcusable. And then Jack Sawyer makes a play that I think will go down in history, not only in Ohio State football, but just college football. On his former roommate, by the way.
Yeah, nonetheless.
Him and Quinn Ewers were roommates when they were at Ohio State, but to strip sack and then, dude, not even strip sack, to take that all the way back to the end zone. I mean, that's an adrenaline rush like no other. But look,
Yeah.
Georgia, y'all beat Texas, and it was close. This game was still close, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm happy they got the dub, and I don't think they're gonna have as big as a problem with Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame.
I hate Notre Dame.
So there's nothing more than I would like than an absolute ass beating on January 20th. At 7:30, 8:30, whatever time the game starts Eastern time. But I hope Marcus Freeman is in the tiers that built him up, because I do not like the Irish. I really
No,
do not.
and just to skim through the Notre Dame Penn State, they played in the Orange Bowl. Penn State should have had that game. Drew Aller, for some reason, throws a Stevie with like 2 minutes left. 3
Off his
minutes
back
left.
foot.
Off his back foot. Fun fact, not one Penn State wide receiver caught a pass that
Yeah.
game.
I did see that.
It was all tight ends.
Running backs.
Tyler Warren, what a stud, and running backs. Notre Dame, dude, their offense is nothing special to me. Jeremiah Love he's a damn good back, but after that 98-yard touchdown against Illinois, he really hasn't done much. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been a huge factor, but that was like, it can't get much better than a 98-yard run, but just everyone's just like Jeremiah Love. It's like, I don't really see the hype. And then Greathouse made a good play for them. Riley Leonard's good. The best part about Notre Dame for me is their secondary. And if Will Howard could just limit like the bad decisions and the turnovers, I think y'all easily win this game 14+.
Well, I will say, Will Howard, I was not 100% sold on him throughout the season, especially after the boneheaded mistake he made versus Oregon. But I will say this: he's had a very good playoff run.
Yeah.
The pick versus Texas, it happens. Sometimes when you're really hot, you need something like that to cool you down. and bring you back down to earth and who you're actually going against. But Will Howard's played great. I think he has his job. Some will argue is easy. You have Jeremiah Smith. You have Igbuka out there. You have Judkins and Trey Henderson, who that 75-yard screen, by the way. I don't know how that happened.
I know.
But it did. You have a two-headed monster at running back, right? Like, you have a lot of options here that he can throw to. So, I really expect Jeremiah Smith to have a game because he did not show up really against Texas. They were double and triple teaming him all game, as they should. He's a freshman, but he plays like an NFL player out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a beast. Jeremiah Smith, number 4. Go watch some highlights. I think every week, I was sending texts out. Another week, another Jeremiah Smith touchdown, because that's just how it goes. So I expect him to have a big game, but you said it. That secondary for Notre Dame is good. They're definitely going to be paying attention to him. I think they're going to force Will Howard to, make some throws. And can we talk about making some moves with his legs, Kyle? Because you texted me, you were like, yo, he had nothing but green grass on that option against Texas. And I told you, the 20-yard line has tripped up multiple quarterbacks. It tripped up Daniel Jones a couple years ago, and the 20-yard line tripped up Will Howard. So there is an invisible line on the 20-yard line, I think, for quarterbacks who have nothing but green grass in front of them.
It is, dude. That's where the turf monster hides, on the 20-yard line.
It pops up right when you're walking over.
It was a great play, dude, by Will Howard on that option. Just did a little read option, kept it himself, had a huge hole, ran.
But here's the thing. I think that's what they need to do more of against Notre Dame.
You got to keep them on their feet.
Constantly guessing.
Okay. Yeah. I've been a huge fan of just run, and then once you see the defense is committed to the run, like linebackers are maybe showing blitz or you
stacking the box.
Stacking the box. You max protected and you hit the meanest play action and you just see number 4.
I don't know.
Just running down the sideline.
I don't know. I'm more of a run, pass, screen guy.
You motherfucker. Yeah, I'm a run, pass, screen. How many yards have we gained off those 9 plays? 2 yards? Oh, let's do it one more time. Dude.
That's the offense that I want.
No, but Jeremiah, dude, I don't know who's your recruiter for wide receivers at Ohio State?
Well, you want the recruiter or the coach? Because I think they both do an excellent job.
Both.
Well, them and defensive end.
Yeah, defensive end, Chase Young, Bosa.
No, they had both Bosa brothers.
Oh, my God, I forgot Nick and Joey both went to Ohio State. Yeah, Bosa brothers, Chase Young. And there's one more, I'm forgetting.
Yeah. Well, Jack Sawyer now, obviously.
Yeah, Jack Sawyer after that 82-yard touchdown. But, hey, January 20th, it's going to be a great game. Like I said, I got Ohio State winning this game pretty big.
Did you pick them to win it all? Or did you have Oregon?
Dude, I don't know.
I'm not. I think you had Georgia on one side. No, you had Georgia, Ohio State. Yeah, you had Georgia, Ohio State because you had
Obviously, my first pick was going to be the Dogs, but I think my second pick was Ohio State.
I know you had you had a rematch. You had Ohio State, Georgia in the ship. I don't know who you picked though. Of course, my dumbass went Oregon, Georgia because why would it be 1 versus 2? I will say, Kyle, though, if Ohio State wins, and look, we'll be back Thursday with Gabe, but we won't be back until the conclusion of next week, next Tuesday. But if Ohio State wins, dude, I'm like, yo, push it to 16 teams, yo. 16-team playoff. Give me you know. Dude. You know.
I know.
Why.
The first year of the 4-team, y'all get the W. The first year of the 12, y'all get the
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Potential W.
Hey,
Potential.
I don't. We can't hate the Catholics, but next Monday, I will not be on the side of the Catholics on the football field. That's for sure.
I hate Notre Dame, dude. I don't see
like
anything special. I don't.
Yeah, I don't like Marcus Freeman either, and I know a lot of people do. There's something about him that just makes my skin itch. Like, yo, this guy, nah.
And he played at Ohio State.
I know. Yeah, so it's a lot coming from me. In saying that, but
I don't know, dude. Gonna be a great game next Monday. But guys, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Like I said at the very beginning, last week was me just raging about damn Mike Bobo, but today we switched roles. Matt was happy and ranting about his Cowboys and talking great about his Buckeyes. But how'd you like today's episode, man?
It's good, man. I got a lot off my chest. A lot of good energy. I'm going into this week positive-minded, maybe a little bit of optimism, some might say. The Cowboys, I don't know who's out there. They're probably gonna hire Ron Rivera, right? Look, we're gonna be back Thursday. Cowboys hire Ron Rivera and be like, yo, right back to square one. But for the time being, I'm happy. Buckeyes are doing good. Kyle, pretty soon, man, we got some baseball to hop back into, so I'm excited for that too.
Yes, sir. I love that the Braves have done jack diddly squat since half our team, Max Fried, leaves. Could sit here for another fucking hour talking about all this. But, guys, it's going to do it for today's episode. If you liked it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys had a good weekend. We'll catch you Thursday with Gabe. Peace!